The economy in the southern states, part 2. The first bullet is printing spree. The question used, how they began to print money. By necessity, the South turned to the printing press to pay most of its bills. In its first year, the Confederate government derived 75% of its total revenue from treasury notes, less than 25% from bonds, and under 2% from taxes. The foundation of Confederate war financing consisted of over $1.5 billion in paper dollars. Furthermore, our currency was tainted. But the economic side of the war endured for generations. The change is seen in the annual budgets before and after the war. In 1860, federal budget was $63 million, but after the war, annual budgets regularly exceeded $300 million. The value of Confederate currency fell due to the lack of specie backing and military defeats, which caused an inflation in prices of food and other goods. It does not help that these bills were also easily counterfeited. During the war, the amount of money being printed increased 20 times over, which made money less valuable. The second bullet is fight and get minimum wage. The question is how they attempted to pay the soldiers. Unlike the northern states, the Confederates did not have as much money. So, the privates received $11 a month, the corporals received $13 a month, the sergeants received $17 a month, the first sergeant received $20 a month, the quartermaster sergeant received $21 a month, the sergeant major received $21 a month, the second lieutenant received $80 a month, the first lieutenant received $90 a month, a captain received $130, a major received $150 a month, the lieutenant colonel received $170 a month, the colonel received $195 a month, the brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general, and regular general received $301 a month. In the North, veterans who have sustained severe injuries and widows who have remained unmarried and her children receive pensions. But unlike the North, the Confederates received no federal pensions. The third and final bullet is we almost got barricaded. The topic going to be explained is the Anaconda Plan. The Anaconda Plan was the Union's strategic plan to defeat the Confederacy at the start of the American Civil War. The goal was to defeat the rebellion by blocking the southern ports and controlling the Mississippi River. This would cut off and isolate the South from the outside world. The strategic plan would have eventually ended the Civil War, ideally with minimal casualties on both sides. It was a humanitarian way of defeating the rebellion as opposed to invading the South with massive numbers of troops, killing, burning, and capturing everything in sight. Pretty much all of the Union commanders disliked this plan and referred to it as being too complacent. They wanted to attack the South and defeat them with the Union's overwhelming military and industrial might. If the plan would have continued, the South would have been slowly deprived of food and supplies by the Union blockade, which would have helped the Union Army to take up defensive positions in the North, repelling any Confederate attacks. The Anaconda Plan consisted of two main objectives. The first objective was to set up a naval blockade of the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico ports that were controlled by the Confederacy. This would cut off all the trade to and from the rebellious states. The second objective of the plan was to transport 60,000 Union troops in 40 steam transports escorted by upwards of 20 steam gunboats down the Mississippi River. They would capture and hold forts and towns along the way. Thank you.